Hey everybody, and welcome to Jack's Treasures on YouTube with Whatnot Thursday.
It's supposed to be Whatnot Wednesday, but we forgot to record last night. We were actually really tired after we did our walk and packed for our show.
Yeah, we just forgot.
Like that, but we got a great topic for you for today. But this is our series of questions and answers that people have asked us, or we've asked other people, or things that we think are, kind of important.
This one, I got the inspiration from reading some of the Whatnot groups on Facebook. It seems to be a big thing over there. People are always asking, do I need a mod? Or I need a mod. And then I'll look at their account and they have like 206 followers.
And about 8 people or 4 people in a room.
Right. And I mean, I think it's nice that they're thinking about that. But the reality of someone who has run hundreds of Whatnot shows, with rooms ranging from having 2 people in the room up to, 300. Mods are not as important as you might think.
Mods are really important when you're doing like a raid train, because they are the ones that are going to type in the chat the notice about who to follow on the train, who's next on the train, who's coming up on the train to follow you. And especially if you're a lone person. Now, if you're a lone person, mods are very, very important.
Right, or they can be.
They can be.
If you're a lone person and you have a room of like, say, 25 plus, it can be very helpful. Because sometimes the chat will move fast enough. You need someone to slow it down. You need someone to answer questions.
Or somebody to boot the troll.
Right. But 95% of these lone shows we've done, I didn't feel that a mod did anything of any importance. I always mod my friends if they show up.
When she says own shows, that means your own show.
Not a raid train. Yeah.
First off, let's explain what a mod is, okay?
Right.
Because there's mods in everything. There's mods on District. There's mods on Whatnot. There's mods on YouTube. There's mods on, well, I know those for sure. But what does a mod do?
They can kick people out of the room if they're misbehaving. They can type things, or in Whatnot at least, they can type things as an announcement that is bolded and holds in place.
And they can also send you a hidden message.
They can.
That only you and other mods can see.
And they can also, on Whatnot, see something called red chat, which is when someone messages and it's a...
NV.
It's a word that Whatnot has deemed inappropriate, which may or may not be an actual inappropriate word. His current favorite one to come in our chat and say is muff. But yeah, so that's why when my friends pop in the room, I'll mod them. It's not that I want them to come and try to control the room, because most of the time it's a calm, cool room.
Ours?
Yeah, well, the people are not.
The people in the room are.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Yeah. So I just mod them so that they can see any red chat that comes across, and then other people might see their name. Maybe they give them a follow, something like that.
That's what I was going to mention right there. When she mods people in the room, I can't really. It's difficult for a lone person, to mod somebody in the room, because they have to literally stop what they're doing in the chat, find the little mod button on the thing, click on the name, then click on the mod part. For when she does it for me, when I'm in the show, usually about, 5 or 10 minutes into the show, and I start seeing all the mods, it's easy for me to say, hey guys, whenever you see anybody with that MOD by their name, please give them a follow. They're here to help us out, and it gives them, it's an easy way for me to shout out all of our friends. But generally, mods are there to help moderate the chat, not sell the items.
No. I guess the biggest thing when I see people almost feeling obsessive about mods in some of the Facebook groups and things, just letting you know, it's not that important. You can go run a show and you don't need any mods.
Even by yourself.
If your show starts getting a little frisky, look around. Do you have somebody in the room? Do you know them? Maybe people you've been on a
boot person yourself.
Right. Maybe you've been on raid trains with them before. Maybe then you throw the mod up. But it's not like oh my gosh, I've got to get mods set up before I do my show. When we set up our show, it'll automatically pick a couple of mods that I might have had recently, and I usually leave them unless I'm doing a raid train.
Chris, the Raging Cajun.
So some people kind of have that almost auto mod status because they've been so many times.
Yeah,
but
Tanya's been a mod for us. I will say this: there are some bigger sellers that have hundreds of people in the room. that they do have mods and they need some of those
And some
mods.
of these people even have what are called paid mods.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if you are constantly running a show with 200-300 people in there, that might be something you look into because you do need that help. So
it helps when you're running the show. It helps when somebody asks a question, because questions, a lot of people don't realize that unless you put a question mark or an exclamation point, it's going to be just like a regular chat.
Right.
And sometimes that chat flies by when there's a lot of people in the room, because you got to think about it. A lot of people in the room, if everybody starts typing in a message, your message will go by. But a mod will see that yellow chat, or they'll see that question and they'll refer back to it. Or if somebody's got a pre-bid, that's another great thing that mods do, is they can look through your list. Chris does this amazingly. He looks and he finds all my pre-bids and he'll tell me what pre-bids
Coco's another really good one that,
Coco
that does
Loves
that.
Life and things like that. Sometimes mods do help out with the seller when the seller has a what's called a sponsored giveaway. When somebody buys a sponsorship on that show to give away something like a Starbucks gift card or something like that. And then the mods blast the message board with following that one person, thanking them. Another one is when you get raided. Mods are excellent for catching who did the raid and for doing that. Because sometimes I got raided. One time I didn't get raided. I didn't even know I got raided. Okay. I don't really pay attention to the room count as much as some people do. And I had my back turned and like 17 people came into the room at one time and I didn't notice it. And then I could see the chat a little bit and I'll see raid and I'll say, oh, who raided me? And then our mod would say, thank you, such and such, for the raid.
Another one is if you get a really, really, really big raid, the name of the raider gets popped off the screen so fast.
Yeah.
Like we actually got a huge raid recently, and to this moment, I still don't even know the name of the person. It was not somebody I knew personally.
Was there a video game show?
And I thank them so much for doing that. It was awesome.
But our mods did catch it.
They did, and they shouted them out.
And they shouted them out, and then we saw it at that point, and stuff. But so mods can be very, very helpful, but they're not essential for running a show. You do not have to have one. As a matter of fact, our first 2 years, we didn't have one mod.
No.
Not one.
Nope.
Okay. Then we started to mod people when we started to do raid
I
things like that.
I might guess that Philly Flipper was probably our first ever mod. I mean, I might be wrong there, but I will say there's a very good chance he was our very first mod because he was our first raid trainer.
But as a new seller, you got another thing too is trust who your mods are.
That's where I was gonna go next.
Yeah.
Don't mod random people, especially if you're a new seller and don't have a good feel of the platform, because mods, while they can't like sell your items or change prices or anything, they can boot people out. And we have heard stories about people that will kind of weasel their way in and try to get you to mod them, and then they're booting out the competition so they can get their stuff
the
cheaper.
People that are bidding on the products that they want, so that they can get those things. Also, another thing is a lot of raid trains, CG Boomerang Echoes raid trains, mods can't bid on items. Okay, and it is kind of shady when you see something like that.
It's not all her raid trains; it's the battle trains, because those are a competition and they really don't want to have anything that looks shady. Right.
Like say we mod our mother-in-law who lives upstairs right there, and I'm running this
It's
little
a bonger.
gong bong thing, and I want it to go for $100, but it's only going for $20. Well, my mom, who's upstairs, is my mod, all of a sudden starts bidding, and I can see the bid. And believe it or not, you could bid yourself up. That's a bad problem that Whatnot has right now. I think they need to fix that. But they can bid themselves up. So they bid it up to $100. It goes for $100, and then she cancels the order.
Right.
Okay.
We would never do that.
We would never do that, but it's called shill bidding. And when you have mods of certain at certain shows, especially battle shows where it's a battle of the best or battle of the graphic tees or something like that, don't have mods bid. You know, it looks bad. It's not a good look for you as a seller when your mod has your name with the number 2 on it, or number 3 on it, or number 4 on it.
That may be something you think about if you're running bigger, more excitable shows anyway, just because it looks bad. It doesn't mean that your mod's doing anything bad, because there's been people I've modded that have legitimately just wanted to buy some of my items. The other day, Wolverine Flipper, she popped in the room. She's our friend, Nicole. I modded her, and then
Heather.
instantly the next item she bought it. And, you know, it was nothing crazy. It was like a little $3 piece or whatever. So nobody was weirded out by it. But if that was like a $200 item and people saw her bidding, they might have thought something a little weird of that.
Yeah.
So it's just important to think about that before you mod people. If I was doing raid trains, I tend to just mod the people that are assigned to me to mod. I don't mod my extra people during those busy raid trains.
Think about an auction, a live auction, and you're at a live auction, and mods are walking around the room saying, bid over here, and those are keyed in. I'm looking at what the mods are saying more than what I'm looking at the chat is saying as the seller in front of the screen. Tracy's is behind the screen most of the time. She does have her own shows, and I normally mod whoever comes in the room because I suck at modding. But that's one of the things about it. They help the seller to control the room so that it's everybody gets their questions answered, what they want run, because sometimes people have like 150, 100, 200, 300 items in their show, and they're only going to be on for an hour, and they put in a pre-bid, and they really, really want that item. So the mods will see it, and the people will say request number 36 or whatever it may be, and you don't see it. Because
also very important in raid trains that are a set amount of time.
Right. So mods are very, very important, not 100% necessary, especially in small shows.
Yeah.
When you're just getting started, try not to mod a lot of people because you don't know who the people are. Mod who those people are that you become friends with or that befriend you on whatnot.
Let me say, a lot of times if someone's asking to be a mod, that might be a little bit of a red flag. Unless there's someone you know off platform or something. That to me is a little bit of a red flag. Someone comes in my room, they ask to be a mod. I'm like, why?
Yeah. Especially if it's a standalone show.
Yeah.
No, you don't need that right there. So please like, share, and subscribe. Help us out with Stop Soldier Suicide. Also help us out with the Naughty Cat Cafe,
not a strip club.
And as always,
Pet a cat.
Peace out from Jack's Shoulders, guys. We love you.